Today is a dark day because whenever corporations win, normally we, the customers, lose. And that is exactly what has happened with this Yuzu lawsuit that, wow, that was quick. I mean, I did not expect the lawsuit to be announced and then settled within a week. And that is exactly what we've seen with what happened with Yuzu and Nintendo. Nintendo wins $2.4 million in Switch emulator lawsuit, Yuzu to shut down. As I'm recording this video right now, Yuzu's site is now owned by Nintendo. Everything on GitHub is gone. The only way to get Yuzu is through alternate means. Now, this was an open source emulator, so the source code is out there. Hopefully, other teams pick it up and continue the progress forward and continue to update it so games will keep running better and better on different platforms. But I mean, this is a huge blow to emulation and the progress that we've seen with emulation on not only the Switch but also the 3DS, because Yuzu, the same company, was making Citra, which is a 3DS emulator. We'd been seeing it do lots of different cool things on other single board computers, other handheld devices, and now that work is gone. It's just done. Like, they can't work it on anymore for fear of more lawsuits. Again, that is an open source thing, so the source code is out there. Hopefully other teams pick it up and then try to fly more under the radar. I know the main reason why Yuzu was taken down, but I still don't think it's right. I understand a lot of people are saying this, that Yuzu flew too close to the sun. They tried to incorporate too many monetized elements into the way they were producing their emulator. And I understand where they were coming from. I never saw them as the bad guys. I understand you have to make money. You have to live, eat food. You have to, have a living. You can't just do this on the side completely and have as much progress as you do if you're doing this full time. And that's what I feel like that money was really enabling that team to do, was do this full time. I'm sure a lot of other people out there that work on emulators for free, they have their main job and then they have the emulators they're working on. Whereas Yuzu was monetizing it, and I would argue in not a predatory way, but it was enough to catch the eye of Nintendo. Like the eye of Sauron, it was, oh, you're making $30,000 a month on Patreon. Those sort of things drew the attention of Nintendo, and I feel like that is a big reason why they are gone. Another reason is because, a lot of people are saying this, it's because it is a current gen system that is being emulated. It's because it's the Switch. But this has been around for a very long time, and I would argue that the Switch is barely current gen anymore. Anyway, they're about to come out with a new system. They're going to move on. Maybe this is a sign that Nintendo is going to make the Nintendo Switch 2, or whatever they call it, backwards compatible. Some people are saying that because they went after this company specifically, they also had that 3DS branch, they might have some sort of plan in the future that they are going to be re-releasing 3DS games for the new system. The new system might have two screens. I don't know. There's a lot of different theorizing online as to why this specifically happened. I feel like Nintendo is also very upset that their biggest launch, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, leaked, and they just kept seeing Yuzu's name everywhere, and they just got bitter and they targeted them, and that was the reason. I feel like that honestly might be one of the biggest reasons, because there are other Switch emulators out there. This isn't the only one. So the fact that they targeted this one specifically and brought up Tears of the Kingdom, I think that just is a big catalyst as to why Yuzu and Citra are no longer with us in what would have been the best form. I think this is a massive blow to game preservation, because this is what we need for game preservation, is emulating, because there are only so many physical copies out there, and then when they stop making Switch games, the only way to play these games will be buying them off of other people, which Nintendo's not making money from that anyway, or emulating. And I mean, at least with the Switch, the best way to play these games was through emulation. And maybe that's another reason why Nintendo got so upset, is because Yuzu outperforms their own console. Because Yuzu is a better place to play Nintendo games and not on the Nintendo platform, and their name is everywhere, that might have triggered this anger towards Yuzu. But real quick, let's take a look at what Yuzu's statement is. Hello users and Citra fans. We write to you today to inform you that Yuzu and Yuzu's support of Citra are being discontinued effective immediately. Yuzu and its team have always been against piracy. We started the projects in good faith out of passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and we're not intending to cause harm. But we see now that because our projects can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. We have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and soon shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy for all creators' work. So obviously, that was written by a lawyer. They're acting like they've hurt a small company. They're acting like they're whatever that gray market website is for CD keys that has been shown to actually hurt indie games, whereas Yuzu, from what I've heard out there, I've never heard them actually hurting any small developers or having anyone's game release actually be ruined because Yuzu existed. I 100% think that this is written by a lawyer. I don't think that they actually believe this. I do believe that this was made in good faith and it was not for piracy and it was just to have the best experience for Nintendo Switch games, and it's sad that that is now ripped away from us. What I'm really hoping is that this doesn't set a precedent for Nintendo to start going after all other emulators out there, because I mean, that would see game preservation as a whole just disappear. And that's what I really didn't want to see with this. This is a slippery slope. We've seen in the past, Sony has lost cases against emulators, and that was a physical disc that was being sold. And yet here we are with Nintendo finding a way to bully an emulator out of existence, to bully two emulators out of existence with one fell swoop in about a week's time. It just sucks. It sucks that there are zero companies out there I feel happy about supporting anymore. You know, I mean, Nintendo, I feel like we used to root for Nintendo because they felt like the underdog. They were always the other system. They were always the other platform. It was PlayStation and Microsoft battling it out. And then Nintendo just had this cute little thing over here that was doing its own thing. They were trying new things. They were experimenting, and they weren't just trying to make the most powerful box. And I really respected them for that. But all of the other things they've done, their anti-piracy things, when they used to go after YouTube creators, do you remember that? I remember that because, of course, I am a YouTube creator. But the little weird isms that Nintendo has always had have only grown worse over time. And again, this is not during their Wii U period. If this was during their Wii U period, maybe I could see where they were coming from. They were worried about losing even more money at a time where they're already facing down the barrel of bankruptcy, where the CEO had to take a pay cut to not lay people off. That's not what's going on right now. They're very successful. And instead of using that success and just focusing on growing that and spreading that love to the community for, actually supporting them and getting to them where they are, they're shitting on them. Because unfortunately, today Nintendo won. And we, as Nintendo fans, lost. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this whole thing. Like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.